Hey, what's up, everybody? It's SirMrCl3an, and we are back with another game review. This time, one of my all-time favorite games, the first JRPG I ever played, Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest 1. And they have now remade it in a nice little package called Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake. And here is the original Dragon Warrior 1, as it was known in the United States. This was the first RPG I ever played. I got it as a pack-in with a subscription to Nintendo Power. So it was like a bonus. They were giving these out to everybody. And now what's amazing about these old games, especially this one, is it came packaged with a strategy guide. So these games didn't have, like, they didn't handhold you. Instead, you had little guides that you could use to kind of play through them. So this came with like a level, like 1 through, I think it took you all the way to, let's see. Yeah, I think it took you all the way to the Castle of the Dragon Lord. And then prepare for the final fight. So it took you through the entire game. It also came with maps. So remember these old maps? I remember having these things laid out on my bedroom floor, working my way through all of these. One side was like the map with all the locations, and the other side was all the monsters and the areas in which the monsters would appear. And so you could kind of plan if you were ready or not to take on some of the big bads in the game. Freaking cool. And then there was also just like a little cheat card. And it would just say like, hey, level 1, this is how much like HP and MP you're going to have. This is what you should be doing in the adventure. Here's the goal for this level. Best monsters to fight. And then what like equipment you should probably have. Pretty rad. Anyway, I was absolutely enthralled. I'd never played a game like this. And it really got me hooked on RPGs. So, I've played that. I've played the Game Boy version, Game Boy Color version. I've played the mobile remakes. I played them on... I didn't play them on mobile, though. I played them on Switch when they came out last year. Or not last year, a couple years ago. But this one, I was super excited for. In fact, I ended up getting accidentally... I ordered the Collector's Edition, and then I accidentally ordered another one because I forgot that I had ordered the Collector's Edition. So I'm giving this away. So stop by the stream. We're doing any $5 donation, whether that's a sub or a donation to Extra Life, which is benefiting Children's Hospital. That's what we're doing like this whole week in November. So if you want to stop by and say hi, you can throw a little donation, get yourself entered into the giveaway. We'll be giving that away on November 17th. So if you're watching this video and it's after November 17th, sorry, we've already given it away. So let me get into my review. So this game is gorgeous, for one. The HD2D pixel presentation of this game is so fantastic. I've loved this style since we saw it with the first Octopath Traveler, and they've now applied it to multiple games. Obviously, all of the Octopath Traveler games, as well as the Dragon Quest 3 remake, and now the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D remake. We've also seen this style show up in things like Triangle Strategy. So, very, very, very cool stuff. I'm super excited about it. Looks amazing. Last night, I finished Dragon Quest 1. I played it on Draconian difficulty, which is the hard difficulty. And it took about just under 30 hours. I did not use a guide until the very end, and that was to find one mini medal that I was missing. Otherwise, I didn't use a guide. I do have my entire playthrough. We'll be uploading to YouTube. I think the first 6 episodes are already up. And I'll do all the rest of them. And they're all between like 50 minutes and like an hour and a half. So chances are there will be 20 to 30 videos up for the entire playthrough, probably 25-ish. So we've got a lot more. I'm trying to upload 1 a day. We'll see. We might go to 2 a day because there's other things I want to get to as well. This game is so fantastic. I've had a smile on my face almost the entire time I was playing it. There were obviously a few little gotchas, and I'll talk about them, and I will also preface them with spoiler alert if I'm getting into what I think is considered spoiler territory. For the most part, I'm going to keep it pretty spoiler free. The game's beautiful, like I said. The progression is actually really good. It feels really good. Playing it on Draconian, I really didn't notice like a difficulty spike until like probably the 3rd or 4th boss fight that I had. It was in a village that wasn't in the original game. But it was really tough, and I died multiple times until I finally kind of came up with a plan. Usually when I would die, I would try a couple times, and if I just wasn't doing it, I would go level up 1 or 2 times just to get a little bit more HP, a little bit stronger, a little bit higher defense, a little bit higher strength, a little bit better luck, agility, all those things. And then I would try again, and then I would employ different tactics. For the most part, I was able to get through everything and figure it out. I didn't have, like I said, I didn't have to look up guides on how to beat anything. I eventually figured out ways to do it. Whether it's the best way to do it, I have no idea, but it worked for me. So if you watch my playthrough, you'll see what I'm talking about. But overall, absolutely love the combat, the idea now that you're always one character in this game. Dragon Quest 1, you had just you had your hero, and that was it. But in this game now, you fight multiple enemies. So you can fight anywhere from just one enemy or up to like 6 if they're small on the screen, like slimes. You might fight like 6 metal slimes or something. I don't think there was ever any more than that. But very frequently you'd run into 2, 3, 4 enemies. And for the most part, you felt pretty good about it all. They did bring into this game some of the tools that you had in the other games for dealing with groups of enemies. So like the whips and the boomerangs and things like that. So that really helped. And I think that was probably necessary to do the game this way. As far as all that goes, it's great. They added tons of spells. They added tons of special abilities. There really is just a lot to like about how the game turned out as the tactics and the gameplay and the mechanics of the game. The story has been incredibly fleshed out. If any of you have played Dragon Quest 3, I have not. I will be playing it after I finish 2. So I'm playing them in like release order. I know that they re-released these with 3 first and then 1 and 2, because 3 is technically a prequel. It actually is just a blatant prequel. So anyway, the story is great. The original game really didn't have much of a story. You would talk to the king, you would talk to some townspeople, they would give you these hints. You wouldn't really know what it meant until later when you were like, oh, I went into this village and, it's destroyed, and somebody mentioned something about something being hidden in this destroyed village. So there's just lots of like hints like that were in the original game that are much more fleshed out in this game. There is a bunch more of additional characters. There's a lot of voice acted characters. All the major cutscenes are voice acted, which is fantastic. The story, like I said, is fleshed out. There's side quests. There's little missions you can go on. There's just a lot to love. The music's amazing. It's still very cutesy. Obviously, it's Dragon Quest, right? But the enemies are pretty vicious, and there's some vicious tones in the game too. There's a lot going for it. I was overall very, very, very pleased with how this game ended up. I really don't have a whole lot of negative to say. The only thing, and this is a spoiler, so skip over the next like 30 seconds or something if you don't want to hear about a spoiler. But there's one thing that if you don't do it, it locks you out of one thing in the game. It was kind of frustrating because I would have loved to have done it. And I don't know if I really want to play through again right now. It'll be a while probably before I replay this. And when I replay it, I'll probably play it on normal difficulty, so some of the boss fights won't be as frustrating as they were. But when you save the princess, if you don't keep her with you, if you go back to the king and turn in his daughter, there is a special move that you cannot get in the game. So you have to like keep her with you for the rest of the game, which is fine. She does a bunch of other things in battle for you. Like she stands off to the side in battle, and there's things that she might do for you in battle, like little random things. And then she allows you to unlock a souped up move of like one of the best moves in the game, and it makes it even better. And that probably would have helped a lot, especially in some of the final boss fights. But I didn't have that because I turned her in, and I had no idea that that was a thing. So, yeah. Noted. Anyway, end spoilers. I won't talk about spoilers anymore. But yeah, overall, the game was amazing. I'm very excited to play the next one and to play 3. And I'm really excited for 7 that's coming out next year. I think the PlayStation Direct today just gave us a date. I think it's like February 5th or something like that. Early February. So that's fantastic. I've heard rumors that they are remaking 4, 5, and 6 in the same vein, HD2D remake type thing. Maybe not. Maybe they'll do it in more of the chibi type look, like Final Fantasy 7. But we'll see. But I'm very excited for this reemergence of Dragon Quest. I played a bit of 8, a bit of 9, a bit of 11. So I'm very excited to be kind of back in this world. I played the first 4 growing up, although I had never beaten 4. So I actually just beat 4 recently, so I'll be posting that as well at the final fight of Dragon Quest 4, Dragon Warrior 4 in America. And then we'll continue on from there. So I'm very excited. Thank you guys for watching. This is a great game. If I had to actually give it a score, like out of 10, I would probably give it a 9. It is very close to what I would consider a perfect remake of a video game, of an old school video game. A game from the 80s. It translated really well, and I had an absolute blast playing it. On the Draconian difficulty, it was a little longer than I would have liked. And part of that is me just not, if I used a guide, I could have done it way faster. But I was trying to, explore and find things on my own, which I found very satisfying because there is stuff littered all over the place in this game. So very, very well done, Square Enix. Thank you. On to Dragon Quest 2. Thank you, and talk to you guys later.